Hello, sir, and hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this presentation. In today's session, our group members will discuss about problem identification and information system development of our system. But before we begin our discussion, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Evan Mulya Simbolon with the last three digits of student identification number 102, and our members are Jeplin Jefferson Hutauruk with the last three digit numbers 088, Ahjadwi Raharjo with the last three digit number of 090, Agri Ladi Rizky with the last three digit number of 095, and Dias Renata with the last three digit number 105. In this session and this discussion, we will discuss about problem identification and development of our information system about charity or charitable contribution oversight. So let us begin our discussion.
Okay, on this slide, I will explain some of the might issue we identified in the donation system. First, absence of clarity. Donor often don't know where their money or cards are going. Second, lack of real-time tracking. Donor cannot follow the progress of their donation, whether received, in distribution, or complete. Third, manual documentation. Donor data is still reported using basic ledger or spreadsheet, which can lead to error, duplication, or even data loss. Fourth, absence of contemporary payment option. Payments are not yet integrated with a wallet, gateway, or Kris, which is a problem for younger users who prefer digital method. And finally, rise of fund misappropriation. Manual system make it easier for funds to be misused or manipulated. Next, we have two more challenges. Number 6, challenge in monitoring donation history. It is difficult for donor or internal team to track donation history for each individual. And number 7, constraint in reporting and analytics. Manual system make it hard to generate timely report and analytics, such as donation trend, program performance, or active donor profile. Next, here we can see participation involved in the donation process. There are internal participants including system administrator, finance staff, program staff, volunteer, and foundation leaders. Then there are external participants, including contributor, sponsor, donation recipient, and bank or digital wallet. Next, this slide explains the internal stakeholder in more detail. The system administrator manages the donation system, database, and security. The finance staff, all incoming and outgoing fund, and prepare financial report. The program staff or activity coordinator propose and report activity and fund usage. Volunteer help execute activity and fundraising campaign in the field. And finally, the foundation manager or leader oversees the entire flow of donation and program. Lastly, we have the external stakeholder. The donor is someone who voluntarily give money or card without expecting a return. The sponsor is usually an individual or organization that expect recognition or reward. The donation recipient is the person or group who benefit from the donation, and the bank, payment gateway, or e-wallet is the intermediary that facilitates and financial transaction.
Okay, the next topic is process that take place in our system. In this session, in this topic, we will discuss about how our system workflow works in real time. The first step is registration and login procedure. In this step, the donors must create an account and finish their profile initially. And then the foundation establishes accounts with specific roles and access levels, including admin, financial staff, and coordinator, and others. The second step is about donation program administration. In this step, the administrator or coordinator develops the initiative, including disaster relief, education, health, and more. And then establish the funding goal, outline the program details, and specify the donation timeframe. After that, disseminate program details across website, application, and social media platforms. The third step is about contribution procedure. In this step, donors must select a donation program, establish the nominal contribution, choose the payment option, which is about bank transfer, create a wallet and credit card, and the next one is about automatically generate invoice. That's the fourth step. In this step, donor information documentation and administration, the system automatically records the donation history of each donor. After that, the system categorizing active donors, regular donors, and major donors. And then the data serve as a valuable resource for reporting and communication. The next step of the fifth step is about fund allocation. In this step, funds gathered will be communicated to program staff. We will subsequently prepare and report for a management approval. Upon receiving approval, the treasurer will allocate the funds as required of the agreement. And the last step is about reporting and transparency. In this last step, the system tracks distribute donation and produce an automatic report that encompasses total donation per program, donor history within a program, recipient information, which is include name, address, type of assistance, and documentation. This report can be shared with the donors to ensure the transparency in our system or in the fund distribution, and can also utilize for specific data analytics for everyone else.
Hello sir, my name is Agril Adiriski with the last 3 digit of student ID number 095. And now, I will explain our project timeline, which lasts for 13 weeks and is divided into 8 main phases. We begin with the initial planning phase, where we define the project scope, gather requirements, and set clear goals. This sets the foundation for the rest of the project. Next, in week 3 to 4, we move into system design. This includes creating wireframes, architecture diagrams, and planning how different system components will interact. In week 5 through 7, we begin backend development. This is where we build the core logic database structure and server-side functionality of the system, overlapping slightly with the backend. Week 6 to 8 are focused on front-end development. Here, we work on the user interface and user experience, making sure the design is both functional and engaging. After development, in weeks 9 to 10, we perform integration and internal testing. This involves connection front-end and back-end system, testing workflows, fixing bugs, and ensuring the system works as intended. Then, in weeks 11, we conduct user acceptance testing or UAT. This is where end user tests the system in real-world scenarios and give feedback. With successful testing, we proceed to launch an implementation in weeks 12. The system goes live and deployed to the production. Finally, in week 13, we move into maintenance and updates, where we monitor the system, fix any post-launch issues, and make necessary improvement. This timeline ensures a structured and efficient project flow from planning to deployment, with each phase carefully scheduled.
Next are the risks of this project. There are several risks that may occur in creating this donation system. First is technical risks. Number 1, donor data security. There is a risk of donor data leaks if the system's security is insufficient, such as the name and contact details of donors. Number 2, server downtime. Server disruption can temporarily prevent donation process and data access. As a result, users cannot access the donation system. Number 3, payment gateway failure. Failures in digital payment integration may result in unrecorded donations and hinder transaction. Number 4, system bugs. Software errors could lead to missing or duplicate donation records and decrease system reliability. This disrupts donation activities in the system. Next is financial risk. First, higher implementation cost than estimate. This is possibly need for additional resources such as large servers or enhanced security upgrades. During the project, we might need additional resources such as big server or upgrade security measures. This could lead to spending more than what we originally planned. Second, ongoing operational expense. Regular costs including system maintenance, domain fees, hosting, and payment gateway charges. Even after the system is up and running, there will be regular costs like system maintenance, domain fees, hosting charges, and payment gateway costs. These are recurring expenses that we need to budget for. Third, delayed return on investment. The system may take time before delivering tangible financial benefit, as donor adoption may not increase significantly right away. It may take some time before the system starts to deliver clear financial benefits. This is because user or donor adoption might not grow significantly right after launch. By understanding these risks early, we can prepare strategies to minimize their financial impact. Next is organizational risk. First, internal user resistance. Foundation staff who are used to manual process may find it difficult to adapt to the new digital system. This could slow down the overall adoption process and delay the benefits we expect from the system. Second, lack of IT personnel. Without a dedicated technical team, the foundation may face challenges in keeping the system running smoothly and quickly solving any issues that come up. Third, initial data entry errors. When migrating data from manual records to the new digital system, there's always a risk of errors. This mistake could affect the accuracy of the data and lead to bigger problems later.
And then the external risks. The first one is cyber attacks, hacking or phishing. Malicious attacks such as hacking or phishing could compromise sensitive data and severely harm the foundation public reputation. The second one is regulatory or illegal compliance. The foundation must comply with requirements related to taxation, donation, reporting, and government vintage regulation, which may add complexity and cost. The third is vendor dependency. If the chosen payment gateway experience downtime or problem, the donation process may be interrupted, directly affecting fundraising activities. The next is financial benefit. The first is transparency and accountability, which is digital system called automatically records fund flow, increasing donor trust since they can track how their money is used. This transparency encourages more people to donate. The second is lower operational cost. Digital donation reduces the need for physical collection, donation box, field volunteer, and logistic. More funds can be directed toward the core program rather than administration. The third is convenience and higher donation frequency. Donors can donate quickly via a wallet, bank transfer, KRIS, or credit card, which this convenience increases the likelihood or recurring donation, which adds to the stability of the organization income. And the fourth is digital payment integration expand rates and makes transaction easier. attracting younger and more digitally savvy donors. The 5 is automatic reporting and analytics simply audits and support fundraising strategies, ensuring the foundation income continue to grow sustainably. The 6 is an online system. The foundation can reach donors from other region or and or country and even overseas, potentially increasing donation by up to 30% with regular digital promotion. Thank you for listening our presentation. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.